So, this is just fresh off seeing the latest episode. Literally just watched it. Um, got spoiled by a few things when I opened my Twitter this morning, so I knew what certain things to expect. Also, not surprised to see Kirsty Burkhardt and a few other Rwby people on Twitter going, "Doesn't Robyn make you just gay?" And after watching the episode, I'm like, no, Robyn comes across as a bit of a dumb bitch. Because, insinuating violence to get what you want. I know Robin Hood and all that, but, using using violence in the world of Remnant is probably. When the very premise of the world of Remnant is negative emotions attract grim, you shouldn't be jumping to start violence. I mean, Mantle's so important, and I'm like, is she a huntress? Like, is she? I want to know, is Robyn someone who graduated from Atlas Academy, is a professional huntress, and is now trying to get elected? Because if so, why aren't you working with Ironwood? Like, you may be trying to get elected against him, but if you want to be in the know-how of certain things, like, just there's more peaceful ways to go about what she's doing instead of, hey, we're gonna jump someone and steal their supplies so we can have a wall. It's kind of weird. Robyn wants to maintain the wall. Oh, there's so much shit in this episode that goes alongside Donald Trump. It's fucking ridiculous. Everything. Oh, hang on. How does it start? Montage. They're all going out doing different jobs. Jean with the children, and they could have just cut that out. Just I don't see the point in showing him holding a stop. That's my job. I'm a traffic controller, and it's more than just holding a sign. We set up the road and everything, but I'm just like, I didn't want to see that. I think they could have saved some animation just getting rid of the Jean part in the montage. They fought a manticore in a group of Grimm. I like that. The transporting of supplies. I like that. There is some good and bad there. His name's Marrow, the wolf Aesop's guy. Him turning around to Yang and Blake and being like, "Oh, you can branch out a bit." That would work if there was other people with him. Just say Rwby and Weiss were with him, right? And he's like, "Oh, you guys could branch out, do combos with your teammates, like we've seen Checkmate and that." That would come across as actual, you know, from one huntsman to another, a form of criticism. Branch out, do different combos, learn to play off each other. But the scene just shows, three people, and Mara's the odd one out because they haven't worked with him that much. So, of course, Yang and Blake are going to be more effective working together. So this scene just kind of like got thrown into the montage for Bumblebee shippers because they work well together. I guess it's a metaphor for they work well together. I just find it weird that we're kind of getting training as well. We're getting training after they receive their licenses. Like, I think that the whole licensing last episode should have happened at the end of this season. It's like maybe go through several missions where you're tagging along, like several missions, like what they're showing now, the montage. Show all of this, and then after, when the season's about to end, just be like, you earned yourself. You've gotten better. Here's your licenses. I just think they got put in a really bad order with the licenses. Giving them the licenses and then giving them a training montage seems kind of stupid to me. What happened next? Of course, oh yeah, the thing with Robyn showing up and fuck, they got stealth technology. God damn, they got stealth technology. I'm starting to wonder why the Aesops don't have stealth technology. The training montage, we saw the rest of Team Funky, which is good. Kind of, like, at least it shows us that there's other people attending this academy, but so far it's like, hey, Team Funky is the only other team here in this academy besides you. I mean, there's a big ass fucking academy, and it's like, hey, Funky. But at least they showed that. I think what was it? Cobalt is this blue guy, and there was another guy with a whip that looked very boring. But yeah, and Team Funky is not working with the Aesops. That's the weird thing. It's like, why aren't they working with the Aesops? Why aren't they tagging along for missions? Are they just not worthy? Because what you're showing us is that Team Funky is stronger, if not on par, with Juniper Oscar thing. Orange, or whatever they're calling it. If they're equal, like, why not use them in a few tag-along missions? Trying to think. Just the thing that's in my mind right now that I'm really fresh on is the Jacque shit. There's something that happens. Oh, they show us the Maiden, who's gonna drop dead soon in Winters. This really did come across as the whole Pyrrha friggin' Jean stuff, but it's a bit weird because, you know, where you try to say it's destiny, you know, you can't really mix destiny and free will, because destiny is like, you didn't have a choice, regardless, you're gonna do this. It is your destiny. And then you're trying also to get across that Winter's like, oh no, it's my free will, I chose to do this. And I'm like, did you choose to do it, or is it your destiny? Or are they, it's like, oh no, and then the conversation goes further on to be like, oh no, I accepted it and I made it my own. And I'm like, no, if it's destiny, you didn't choose it and make it your own. It's just destiny chose you, you're fucked. That implies you have no choice. You just, you know, you just accepted it after a while. You're just like, fuck it, if destiny's done this. So it's a bit weird how destiny and free will is working in this show. Weiss talking all the weird. The thing is, if Weiss, right, she still uses the Schnee name. I thought that's what's important to her, restoring the Schnee family name. And this conversation is like, you're no longer clinging to the family name. Because Winter doesn't really give a shit about the Schnee family name. She's more, like, she's chosen her path. She's like, I'm in the military, I'm doing what I want in the military, I'm making a career in the military. She doesn't give a fuck about the Schnee family name. But Weiss does. That's her character. Outside of being a huntress, which everyone shares in common for some friggin' reason, that's her personal motivation. You turn around and you're like, oh, well, you no longer care about the Schnee family name. That's just like, your Weiss's personal motivation goes down the drain. She's a shallow character. She's only here for plot reasons. Getting on to the Jacque thing, which I really liked, and this is, I just explained this to a group of my friends. I put a small message on my friends' group chat post. It's complicated as to whether you can view Jacque as a genius in this, or because Watts got introduced last episode and he's talked to Jacque. Is Jacque truly the genius, or is this just Watts telling him what to do and he's like, oh, that's a nice plan? In which case Jacque is not the genius and he's just being used as a puppet. In which case you can't really be angry at Jacque and be like, oh, Jacque is evil, because the plan's coming from Watts, so technically Watts is evil, Jacque's not, he's just a puppet. So you can say Jacque is ignorant and easily manipulated, even though he's a character who's manipulative. So it's like a manipulated person getting used by another manipulated person. This is me reading into what they've shown us. This is what a lot more people, instead of going nuts about Robyn potentially being gay just because she chooses to have Merry Huntresses, which is based on Robyn Hill and not her actual Robin Hood, not her actual character. Get over your fucking gender, sexuality bullshit and just focus more on the world building and your characters that you're doing. And with Jacque, this is what I was like. In terms of, it's a smart plan. It's a genius level plan. And it's one where it tests the intelligence of the citizens of Mantle. This is what the plan's doing. It's testing their intelligence, and based on what we've seen, the citizens of Mantle are friggin' idiots. Bonafide, stupid, suicidal idiots. And I want to explain this so people get it. Problem from a corporation standpoint. If we're looking at this from Jacque's SDC standpoint, the problem is with the embargo up, his company's not making money because they're not trading. It's effectively, if you took any company in the real world and you cut off all their trading routes, they're not making profits. So how, if they're losing money, how are they supposed to pay the people that they're employing because they're going into debt? This is an actual thing. You guys who are watching the show, get off your friggin'... Start using your brain. This is real world shit that they've incorporated into the show, right? So if he's not making money, and which is a bad thing for him, it's a bad thing for any corporation, he can't pay the people. So he's like, you know what? Closing down. Closing down temporarily. Because I can't pay you. He goes, if you guys end up going to work for me and I can't pay you because we're not making money, you're going to get the shits with me. So I'm going to take a preemptive strike. I'm going to close the mines and the agencies. And if you want them open, you will vote me into the election so that I get elected on the council. As soon as I'm on the council, I lift the embargo, the trade routes are open, you guys go back to work, I start paying you, corporation makes profits, you make profits, everyone's happy. It's, if anything, the two drunk guys in the first episode, this is what they wanted. They're just like, the embargo will end, everything will go back to normal. So in this situation, you cannot be angry at Jacque Schnee. He's manipulated it really well and making Ironwood his scapegoat. He's like, this is Ironwood's fault. And it is. I mean, he did it and he's trying to be on the big seat of power. He's not a bad guy. It was just a stupid move. And he was right. You've hanged yourself with it. Because now the people are the ones suffering because I'm forced to close my business because I'm not making money. You can't tell a corporation to stay open when they're losing money. So this is a very smart thing. What I don't like is the Mantle citizens' reaction. Let's riot. Yeah, let's start destroying shit. Let's start having negative emotions. This is in turn just blatant stupidity. Because one, the answer is very simple. The answer is extremely simple. Once the election happens, vote Jacque in, you mine, you get your money, bang. The answer's there. Stay calm, because this isn't the real world in the sense. Remnant has bonus features. It comes with bonus features. It's what makes this the fantasy world that we're watching. And the bonus features is that negative emotions attract grim, and grim kill humans. That's the biggest element. If you are to describe anything about Rwby, fuck the main characters, fuck everything else. If you're going to introduce your friends to this, you're going to be like, there's creatures of grim, they're attracted by negative emotions, they kill people, hence the huntresses, and then you introduce Team Rwby, who are trying to become huntresses. And you're just like, Mantle people, the solution's been given to you, vote Jacque in, you get everything you want. And what's your answer? Well, because this pissed us off, we're gonna riot, we're gonna cause destruction and chaos, and then when the Grim attack, knowing, I'm hoping Rooster Teeth don't do this, the people of Mantle, after the Grim attack and they start murdering the people of Mantle, they're gonna blame Jacque Schnee, or they're gonna blame Ironwood, and I'm gonna be like, no, you arseholes chose to start rioting. This is the key element in the story. It's in the same episode. You tried to get across to us that Winter chose to become the Winter Maiden. Chose. The element of free will and choice. The citizens of Mantle, they chose to riot. They're choosing to incite chaos and anarchy, which is going to cause the Grimm to attack and which is going to cause them to frickin' die. At no point is this going to be Jacque's the bad person because he did the logical aspect. I'm sorry. I walked away from this episode. It's a good episode. I'm going to give Eddy Rivers compliment. Yeah, he did his job. It's better than the last episode. But, goddamn, man. If your goal... I really don't know what the goal is here. I'm just like, going forward, citizens of Mantle are friggin' idiots. That's my take on it. It's a good episode, but... in terms of season, and Robyn Hill, honestly, if you just like her because you're gay for her and that's about it, pretty sad and pathetic. That's my thoughts on it. I'm not going to say much more than that. Let me know what you think.